Have you ever traveled through time? We do it every day.
Asgardia is a country with a population of more than 1 million people from more than 200 countries on Earth. Asgardia gives everyone equal opportunities, no matter what their earthly status is.
It is possible to create and live in the future right now. Are you ready? Forward progress is the solution to the entire human race. Our mission is to bridge new horizons. In Asgardia, there is no limit to the universal development in the fields of technology, finance, and arts. Asgardia is a new space and digital economy which creates opportunities for the global economy. We deliver innovations. Do you want to get on board with us? We are developing various kinds of digital businesses, attracting them to the Asgardia platform that can be backed by the means of our umbrella, i.e. franchising of the Asgardia brand. We can not only attract investments into space programs from prominent institutional investors, but also affordable amounts from the citizens of Asgardia. We comprise of more than 1 million people.
Asgardia is a chance to realize one's dream. This is a dream-driven space nation. Asgardia is a chance to belong to a community of free-thinking enthusiasts, goal-driven dreamers, and fearless innovators, theorists, and scientists.
We are the first space nation. One humanity, one unity.
Asgardia.
We are creating
the future.
We are now live. Just waiting on a bit. Hello, Mr. Alia. I think that's how you pronounce it. And there's Kenneth. How you doing, buddy?
Hi, everyone. Thanks for your patience there. I had to do a quick other meeting in between, would you believe? Welcome, everyone. Thanks for your patience, and thanks for others for running the meeting last week. I was flying back from seeing our head of nation. More of that in a moment. If you haven't been before, I'm Lemmy Topic, the Chair of Parliament of Asgardia, the world's first space nation and also the world's first fully functioning digital democracy. That's a big statement, but it's a great one. It's very exciting to say that we are now into our 8th year of full operation, and we're making progress towards our target of having a permanent human space habitation and the first child born in space by 2043. It's really quite soon. Sounds like a long way off, but it's only 18 years. Only 18 years away. And our mission isn't to necessarily take the glory. It's to make sure that those glorious things happen, and they do, that they happen with moral responsibility. Tonight is a fairly short meeting usually because we have our big Asgardia Legislative Forum on Saturday. So I try to keep these short, being mindful of your time. I got 5 things to report. First of all, I've covered one of them. This weekend, we have the first Asgardia, so the next Asgardia Legislative Forum. That's when we talk about the legislation we'll be discussing the next weekend. I'll come to that in a moment. So please do attend if you can. We'll have presentations on each of the documents, each of the proposed legislative items. And I find this makes our meetings at the digital sittings much more efficient. Big thank you to John Fine, who is chair of the LMRG, that's the Legislative Merit Review Group. Very practical group that puts a lot of investment in from ministers and from chairs of committees and from other interested parties in delivering something very important for Asgardia. And that important thing is really top quality legislation which will stand the test of time. So that's the first thing, the Asgardia Legislative Forum. Second of 5 things is that if you could remember, next weekend we have 23rd, 24th, 25th of May, our next digital sitting of Parliament, our digital sitting, and all the legislation we discussed this Saturday will be up for voting next Saturday. Maybe some amendments as well, that happens. But that's what I would expect to happen, so please attend. Thirdly, in terms of announcements, we have a vacancy for the chair of Youth and Education. I'll be closing the nominations for that at the end of day 1. So you have until the end of day 1 next Friday to submit your nomination if you want to stand. You need to be on the committee. And if there's an election, then we will have that in the open, I would expect, on the 3rd day, day 3. That's when we do our committee work. So that's important. And yes, that's important. The 4th thing is there are 2 other, not elections, but appointments to consider. This is very exciting. We have a vacancy for the chair of the Mandate Commission. For those of you who remember him, Salvos Musakitis has been nominated to fill that position. He was my deputy chair of Parliament. He's Greek, lives in Corfu, and has been a great asset and friend of Asgardia and of Dr. Asher Bailey and the mission to achieve those goals for many years. So that's exciting to see an old friend coming back. And if you should approve him, that will be great. Great news, I think, for Asgardia. The other important news is we have finally got a candidate for Foreign Minister. And that's the Right Honourable Nigel Evans, the former Deputy Speaker of the British House of Commons. He did serve for a while as a Asgardian Member of Parliament, but he could not do that and be Deputy Speaker of the House of Commons. Now he's finished in that other role, and so you will have the chance to consider him. I'll be sharing his curriculum vitae, his CV for short, his resume, if you like, to make sure that you have an idea who he is. He should be attending as well. And the proposal is made by the Prime Minister, Dana de Winnan, and then you will have the opportunity to appoint him or not appoint him. I obviously hope you do appoint him. I think this is a huge opportunity. And that takes us closer to our ambitions to have full recognition by the United Nations in, I would say, the year to come, by the end of 2026. That's big news. Finally, let me summarize my meeting with Dr. Asher Bailey. Last week, I was literally flying when the meeting took place, and I did not want to move it because that would have been an inconvenience to people. A few things to report from that. First of all, he is absolutely dedicated to the success of Asgardia. Some things you have to see personally one-to-one, and that's one of them. I sense it. He expressed it. He is very eager for progress. And I believe that the fact that we'll be voting for an acting foreign minister for between now and the end of the year served that long, is indication that we're now really beginning to move in that area. Also, like we have discussed before, we need more residents. We haven't got enough. And we were talking about strategies for success to achieve that, which I can go into more next weekend, or even this weekend if you want to, at the ALF. A couple of other things. I feel now that we are in a situation where we are turning ideas into action. That's what I said I wanted to do in this, my second term as the chair of Parliament. The first time we were setting up the structures. In the second time, I think we're actually getting those structures to do things. I think that's the important thing. And as a result, I'm very pleased. I'm very pleased with the direction we're taking. And then the final thing is this. Dr. Asher Bailey has basically made the investment and provided the vision and founded this in the first place. And he is always willing to hear ideas. And I shared a number of ideas. And I've gone through some of the ones from the chairs of committees in the previous meeting. Just to say that I raised Ariadne's feedback as well. I'm not sure Ariadne is with us tonight. But everybody who asked me to raise their points, I believe I did. And he listened, and it was very productive. Once again, happy to give individual feedback, and I will do. But to save time today, I have gone through it in overall terms with the chairs. And it would be a bad use of time to get everyone to share their ideas now, and so on. But we will be moving on with these ideas very specifically. Finally, I'm just going to report on the deputy chairs meeting, which I ended up chairing. Good meeting, very business orientated, very good attendance. Very pleased to see that we're talking about action. Those conversations aren't gossip, they're action, and I think we should all feel that way. I think also John Fine may have something to raise. I think it was John. But before we go to John, let's go to Fela.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy to have our minister at last at position. I hope that approval comes very fast, and I'm eager to work with him. And I'm very happy to hear. And we will do a lot of things. I believe in this. And I like to congratulate all the parliament and the government for this new appointing our minister. Will be very nice for all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It is great news. And once he's been appointed, then I will do all I can to support the foreign affairs activity in any way that's necessary. So thank you for that. John Fine is, yes, he is here. John was talking about a project he's doing with Seeds in Space. And I think that this is something that our public affairs team might want to report. I think it's a really interesting project. I won't describe it directly on John's behalf, but as an action step, I'm asking John to share, and we can talk about it today if he wants to. I want to keep the meeting fairly short because we've got all those hours on Saturday. But John to share what he wants to do and see if we can make sure that the work he's doing, and it's a biology experiment on Earth and space, is properly reported in our notes and also in our public external profile. There are some other things to share as well. I'll come to John in a minute. Some other things to share as well, but I don't want to detain you too long today. I'll go into a few more of those on Saturday. But if you want to ask questions of the candidate, Mr. Nigel Evans, I'll send a note around. You don't need to remember. Please submit those questions to me in writing by the close of business next Wednesday, close of business UK time. So by 1700 GMT UK time next Wednesday. So John and then Sarah. John? Okay, John's vanished. I'm sure he'll come back. He might have connection.
No, my system was switching.
All right, okay. Right, John, over to you. Yeah, I can hear you.
I was outside and then moved inside.
All right, fair enough. Yeah, over to you then, John.
All right. Yes. My question, of course, would be to the Asgardia media team. And I was selected to participate in a scientific experiment for Above Space, and I've been, uh, of course, I have to document everything, and I have to do a video. And I did my first video. They wanted a video of me opening the box. And when I address myself, I always say, "Hi, I'm John Fine of Asgardia Space Nation." And what it is they had sent some seeds up into space, and those seeds went through a process of orbiting the Earth and being subjected to space environments, and then they were up there a good long time. It was like 45 days, 50 days, something like that. Can't remember the exact day, but I can give you all that information. And they brought them back, select few people that got selected. I was one of them to do an experiment where we grow the seeds. We're going to plant them, grow them, and then do it by the way their instructions say, and then record how everything turns out over a course of their life cycle of the seed that I got tomato seeds. And I plan to do something a little different. Also, those, like I was telling him, I have a control group A and a control B group B, and A would be, of course, the seeds, the space seeds, and the B will be seeds that I bought from a store here on Earth, and just to compare how they grow together. I'm gonna plant them all at the same time. So yeah, and I thought it would make a good story for the media team to do. Have videos with it. If you're interested, I'll be happy to share that with you. Also, I had a question. Sarah wanted me to bring up a point to you, Chair, Chairman Limit.
Go listening.
One other thing, and that's is she said they're still having a problem with adding children to your profile on the Asgardia.space website. For some reason, you go in there, try to add children, it doesn't work. And she actually had an idea of, maybe if the Asgardian added their children, paid a little fee, they could get an ID card for them, which would be great. I think that's a great idea, by the way. And I would be willing to pay a little bit to get an ID card for my child. But right now, you can't even add them to your profile, which is, they got the space there, children, but you can't apparently what she's saying, it's not working. So you make a note of that.
Then Linda, Leon, if you can make a note of that and follow that up, that would be very helpful. I'd be very grateful if you can do that.
That's
basically
all I had.
That's good. That's good. Thank you for that, John. Noted. We, especially considering we want young people to come in, it seems rather important that we don't ignore them when they do, or reject them when they do. So thank you. Sarah.
Question. I always do a presentation for the ALF and for the digital sitting, and it was pointed out last time by government that my presentation does not fall in line within the guidelines for the governmental approved presentation. So where I was kind of poking around, it wasn't initially obvious to me where I can find the stipulations and the guidelines to make my presentation fall within the standards for legislative.
I take a fairly relaxed view on this.
Okay.
The truth is, I say that there are templates, and I've never really enforced them, and here's why: because I like the innovation that comes from free expression. So there are formats which have been used. I've noticed also, because different countries have different page styles. You often get formatting problems if we all try to do it the same way. I like seeing the different approaches because, frankly, if one uses PowerPoint and somebody else is using some other system, that's fine with me, and we'll get to the best system. There are 100 different mobile phones, and a lot of people have an Apple phone, but it's been developed through competition. So I'm very relaxed about it. I appreciate that you want to do this right, and there are some circumstances, for example, when we're presenting to external potential partners, where we have to maybe be a little bit more focused in that sense. But when we're talking to each other, I'm happy to share as we wish, because otherwise, logically, we should all use the same terminology, same wording. We have a shared culture, but I wouldn't want to be too prescriptive.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else? I want to keep this fairly short, but today. Is anybody else who'd like to ask anything else? Okay, looking ahead then. Summarizing, raise your hand if you want. I'm going to any other business. Raise your hand if you want to make any final comments. Essentially, the things to remember, the Asgardia Legislative Forum is on Saturday, 1300 UTC, probably lasts 3 hours, I think. 2.5, 3 hours, something like that. The digital sitting is 23, 24, 25 May. Now we've got the big news. Salvos Mouzakitis being proposed for Chair of Mandate Commission. Great news, great friend of Asgardia. The Right Honourable Nigel Evans, former Deputy Speaker of the British House of Commons, being proposed by our Prime Minister to you as the next Foreign Minister. And then, of course, the legislation itself. Those are exciting things to remember. After that, once things settle, I'm always very busy in the run-up to the sittings. Then we can process what we've decided, what we've achieved. It's premature to assume that you say yes to Nigel Evans, so we make plans after that vote. And I'll put a note out also reminding you, if you want to put questions in for Nigel Evans, we do it the usual way, in writing, send them to me. I'll send you a note to remind you, and I want those by 1700 GMT on Wednesday next week. That's 21st of May. Yes, 21st of May. Just so that I can manage that. Excellent, very good. And just to say, meeting Dr. Asher Bailey is always an honor, really is. And the man really cares about the future of all humanity. He's a visionary, if it just is. There's no other way to describe it. And his enthusiasm is not diminished. He's frustrated to see more happen, and so am I. But look how professional we are now. And it's a great credit to everybody here that we have these meetings, and we have them to such a high level, and we have them to such a great level of efficiency. So thank you, everybody. Have a good rest of the evening. I've got 3 calls to make. It's going to be to Ross Cheese Right. It's going to be to not in this order, of course. Sarah Clark. Oh, it will be actually Ross, Sarah Clark, and then to Ricky Sickles as well. Give me about an hour because I've got some other things. It might be a little bit longer, hour and a half, and I'll give you all a call. Thanks, everybody. We got to 35 briefly. It was a rather high number. But let's stop now so that you're ready for the next meeting at the weekend. When we get to 17, then I'll shut it down because that's 50% minus 1. Until then, next time, I will see you on Saturday. Thanks so much. Those 3 calls to make as well. Looking forward to it. And next week's going to be an exciting session. So thank you, everyone.
Aloha.
Aloha, as you say.
Hello,
aloha.
everyone.
Aho.
Aho to you all. Thank you.